Hello and welcome to the full moon video. The full moon will be happening on the 18th, 19th of December 2021, depending on your location. This is a collective message for everyone. Now, this full moon will be happening in the sign of Gemini, and I think this is a beautiful last full moon for the year, being in Gemini. Now, the moon is linked to our emotions, and Gemini is an air sign, so it's our logic, it's our intuition, but our logic and intuition working together. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's not a moon that's basically in a water sign, it's an air. So there's a lot of thinking and contemplation going on. We could have a lot of nervous anxiety and overthinking and overanalyzing things. So be wary of that, going back and forth, toss up this way, that way, thinking, what should I do? Because Gemini is a sign of duality, two sides to a coin, the twins, day and night, right? That's the energy, strengths and weaknesses. And that's where we are in this contemplation energy. But it's a beautiful way where we are actually thinking about the year, the challenges that we have gone through, the things that basically have strengthened us, and what are our weaknesses, what do we want to overcome. Full moons are all about letting go, releasing. It's a culmination point. So there's a lot of us coming to a sense of clarity about things that we need to let go, especially during this full moon. Now, the full moon is opposite the sun, which is in Sagittarius. So there is that opposition between our emotions and the outside world, our internal conflict versus the external pressure, home versus work life. That's the energy of the opposing energies of this full moon, where we feel, and especially because it's so much to do with duality, the push and pull. But we find our balance, and that's the important thing, when we actually gain perspective and go with the flow of it. And why I say the flow, Gemini is a mutable sign. It's about fluctuation of energy. So if something doesn't work out, just go in a different direction and remain curious, because it's ruled by Mercury. So it's about what we're curious about. And we also take into account all that we've learned. This full moon can also give you some much needed information to give you clarity about the next steps that you want to take going forward. I really feel that the Gemini full moon is a very magical full moon. It's a very beautiful full moon to truly come to the last phase of this year, basically, the last full moon of the year. It gives us this ability to kind of see which direction we want to take our lives in. The North Node is still in Gemini, and come January of 2022, it will be moving into Taurus. So this is like the last moon with the North Node there in Gemini for a while, years, basically. So that being said, this is the energy of the destiny. So when we talk about North Node, it's where the energy is collectively moving us towards. And we've been on this journey of information, of our environment, of remaining curious, of having to deal with changes and being able to change direction and to see a new door opening and moving in different ways in order to connect, especially because Gemini is a sign of connection. It's a social sign. It's a light-hearted sign. It's a fun energy. And that's the beautiful part about it, especially with this full moon. Whereas full moons can be deeply emotional, deeply sensitive. This full moon is more about asking yourself, where can I remain curious? Where can I have fun? Where can I see a new opportunity? How can I remain optimistic and joyful, and really see what I've learned through the experiences I have had, and what do I need to let go of, but from a logical point of view. That is the beautiful part about this full moon, is a sense of logic when it comes to the air sign energy, wanting to communicate, from feeling what we are feeling with the full moon, but communicating with the sense of logic and understanding. And that is so important, especially when we want to get our points across. And that's the beautiful energy of this full moon. Now, it does make an awkward aspect to Venus. And like I said, this full moon's on the 18th, 19th, depending on your location. And on the 19th, Venus goes retrograde. And Venus is in the sign of Capricorn, along with Pluto, which is also in Capricorn. And that energy has to do with our relationships. When we talk about Venus, and especially a Venus retrograde, it's about our relation to everything, literally. Our relationship to ourselves, our relationship with our friends, our relationship with colleagues, our relationship with a family, our relationships and how we relate and how we connect, our relationship to our career, our relationship to our purpose, everything that you have a relationship and feel passionate about. And Pluto's this energy, especially with this full moon, because full moons are about endings, letting go, culmination, or understanding, where we have an epiphany. With this full moon, because of that quincunx, it basically joined, because of also Pluto being there, it's like no more. Pluto is like Lord of the underworld. It's an end. And it's not something, especially because both Venus and Pluto are in Capricorn, the energy of long term. What can we move forward with long term? And that's beautiful if you think about it, because we are going to be moving into 2022. So we're really looking as what do we value and what we can take forward with us long term. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Capricorn. And remember, the full moon is in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury being Capricorn gives us a stability. We might even be thinking and contemplating, but in a steady and not a slow way, but we kind of very much not impulsive in this aspect. We want to make sure the decisions that we're making, we're responsible. There's a lot of responsibility. And they can also be that push and pull between fun and responsibility because of Gemini, but we are still wanting the sense of having stability that is long lasting, that takes us into the years to come. And that's the energy that's coming through. Now, what helps us, especially with this full moon, is the trine. Okay, Gemini, the full moon's in Gemini, the trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. And that's that expansion, and as well as the sextile to the sun, which is in Sagittarius. So there's opportunities and optimism. We are able to problem solve. So even if we come across challenges, we are able to problem solve and see the bigger picture, to see where it is that we want to go, how do we navigate this, and what do I want to move forward with. Jupiter is about wisdom. There's information and understanding, logically, intuitively, that is coming through with these energies. And it's very good for abundance. It's kind of a lucky full moon where we have this energy to really, if we come across any challenges, work through them, use our innovation, use our visionary energy of that Jupiter energy. And remember the thing about Aquarius, because Jupiter is in Aquarius, it's long-term future goals. Just like we were talking about Capricorn, everything about Capricorn too is long-term, you know? So we are looking at, as we come to the end of this year with the last full moon in Gemini, everything seems to be looking back at how far we've come, how much we've learned, how much we've healed, and how we truly want to move forward within our lives. And that's a beautiful energy. And that's the thing too about Gemini. It's a moving energy because of Mercury. It even rules over travel, where you get into your car and move around in your environment. So it wants this movement. It wants to move us forward, so that we can be blessed and have a beautiful future and handle, even if things come up. Like that Jupiter that's trining the energy, sextile the sun. There's this energy of almost, I can do this, I can see the bigger picture, I can problem solve here, I have a vision for what I want, this is how I'm going to work through it. And that is beautiful energy for this full moon. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. My website is linked down below, as well as a link for appreciation of these videos.